Yeah, good yard, everybody. We're up to Yud Aleph Amid Beis. We're about 5 lines from the bottom, and we know that the Reitzeach goes free upon the death of the Kohen Gadol. Now we're gonna have a very interesting shaila. Does he have to die mamish, or does he have to just be Ois Kohen Gadol? Now, how's that possible? He's a chalal. We find out that his mother was a gerusha, and therefore there he's not right to be the Kohen Gadol. Says the Gemara the following shaila. Okay. Nigmar dinoi v'nase kohen ben grusha ben chalutza. There's a gemar din. You have a reitzayach. You have a kohen. You know that he's going to die. You know that meaning that the reitzayach's freedom depends upon the death of this kohen gadol, and you find out that the kohen gadol is a ben grusha ben chalutza. So pligi bar Rabbi Rabbi Yitzchak nafka. Chad Omar mesa kahuna. One says mesa kahuna, meaning that what? That he's a kohen, but he died. So according to that, he will go free. Says Rashi, he will go free upon the spiritual death of this kohen. In other words, there's a physical death where he mamish dies, and then there's a spiritual death where he no longer can perform the avodah because he's what. But until now, so therefore, it's going to mesa kahuna. The chadama batla kahuna. One says that what batla kahuna, right? That the kahuna is batal, and Igloy Muslim Afreya Rashi says that he was never a kohen gadol in the first place. So therefore, basically, this guy's stuck. He's never getting out. Of course, it's like there was a gemar din without any kohen gadol. Let's see Rashi for a second. Look at the last two Rashis on the page. Benasa kohen gadol ben gerusha yotzol of edu shel cholol. You have an edus. It's not an error. You have clear edim. Mesa kahuna harihu kimes. Beina enoritzeach koila. He's like a mace, and the Ritzeach Mat will not go to Golas. Mesa Kuna. However, Batla Kahuna, one says, Igloy Milsa, Lamafreya, Shlechoya Kohen Gadol, he wasn't Kohen at all. Avalei High Ritzeach Nigmar Dinoi, Beloy Kohen Gadol, this Ritzeach had a Gemar Din without a Kohen Gadol, Vein a Chayz Loilam, and will not be Chayz forever. Says the Gemara, let's suggest, Lema Beplukta, the Rebbe Loza of Rebbe Yeshua Konefli. Let's say, this machloikis between Rav Ami and Rav Asi is the machloikis between Rebbe Eliezer ben Horkenis and his bar plukta Rabbi Shua ben Chananya, which again you never want to do. And always the Gemara always, Amora wants to come according to every single kana. So Lema, let's say it's a machlokes between the two, and then there's a format where you say according to one there's no way out. According to one he can't come out. However, maybe according to the other one he could come out. And that's exactly this format. Did not. This kohen was doing the avodah. Now it becomes known is ben grush mechalutza. So we want to know, is the avodah possible or not? Any carbon that he did is possible. So stopping right here, Rebbe Eliezer says, but l'kahuna. So just like what, it's not considered that he did the avodah. Who adin le'inyan the Reitzeach b'shoigeg, he wasn't a kohen. And therefore, the one, we don't know Rabbi Ravasi who said what, but the one that said that he's stuck forever would be Rebbe Eliezer. That just like there's no avodah, there's no kohen, he doesn't go free. Rabbi Yeshua machsher, and Rabbi Yeshua said no, it's kosher. So the one that says Mesa Kahuna, that is a kohen up until that point, would be Rabbi Yeshua. He's a kohen for the avodah up until that point. So with Sushtelling, Shoigeg who kills to the avodah, and we want to say the machlokes Rabbi Yassi is machlokes Tanoim Rebbe Eliezer and Rabbi Yeshua Metanaim. Manda Oma Mesa, the one who said we don't know who said Mesa, Rabbi Yeshua Geshmak Manda Oma Bala Rebbe Eliezer. That would make the most sense. Ahmed Aleph says the Gemara. Now this again, I always point out, guys. This you should point out to your Talmidim. Aliba the Rebbe Eliezer Kuliam Le Pligi, meaning Rebbe Eliezer. If you hold like Rebbe Eliezer, you can't possibly go ahead and change. In other words, if you hold Butler, there's no way in the world that you can possibly hold Mesa Kahuna. In other words, it's not possible, like Rebbe Eliezer, to say that the Reitzeach would go free upon the death of the Kohen Gadol. It's not possible. Then Rebbe Eliezer, according to him, you're stuck. However, Ki Pligi, it's possible, Ali B'Reb Yeshua. In other words, for the one Mandi Amma who holds over there, that you won't be a kohen, Could be over here, he would hold like Rabbi Yeshua that the avodah would be good. So we can go ahead and make a chilik between the avodah and dying b'shoigeg. In other words, it could be batla kahuna. And when the Kohen Gadol, they find out he's a ben Grush ben Chalutza, you're stuck forever. And still, you could hold like Rabbi Yeshua that by the avodah it would be good. How is that so? Says the Gemara. Manda Amar Mesa, the one who says Mesa, right? Great, Rabbi Yeshua, that's wonderful. Rabbi Yeshua says the avoid is good. Mesa, you're chayin, you go free. Manda Amar Batla, oh, here's the chiddush. The Manda Amar who says Batla Kahuna, and therefore what? By Kohen Gadol, you're going to be stuck forever in Galus because he was never a Kohen. I'd kind of like Rabbi Yeshua Hassan by what? By doing the avodah, dichsiv, berach Hashem, cheloi, pol yodav tirtzeh. Afilu chalolim sheboy. In other words, a special gzeres hakasav. Even if you found out that you were ben grushim and chalutza and you did the avodah, whatever you did is good, right? So afilu right. So aval hacha. However, by reitzech b'shoigeg, afilu Rabbi Yeshua would imaida that but kahuna and you will be stuck forever. Again, I think it's important to point out in the mechanics of Gemara, this happens all the time. You say it's a machlokes tanoim, and then basically what you'll say, you're right. According to one man, the Amar, it is a machlokes tanoim. But you're not stuck in saying that what? That's always, very often we say it's not a machlokes tanoim. Both of them could come out according to what? Either Tana. When sometimes, however, you're stuck. One can't come out, but you could. In this case, it's possible that Rabbi Yeshua would agree that by you will be stuck forever because why he never was a Kohen Gadol, because we have a special pasuk to say the avodah that he performed is a good avodah. Nigma dinoi. So it says Nigma dinoi. Even Sartzevashal Yoav ben Seruya ain't yotzim misham la'olam. Okay, a little bit about Yoav ben Seruya. First of all, it's good to know Seruya was David's sister. And Yoav therefore was David's nephew. Yoav in David's life played a major role. He was his general. He allowed David a tremendous amount of freedom because we always bring him down as the paradigm of generals. He was a wonderful general. However, he killed two generals. He killed Avner and he killed Amasa. David did not act upon that, but he clearly held that he was at fault for doing it, for killing Avner and Amasa. Before David dies, in addition, he was married by Malchus that ultimately cost him his life. He supported the rebellion of Adoniyahu, who wanted to be the king after David died, instead of going ahead and supporting Shlomo. Okay, David tells Shlomo, use your chachma, and you know what? Kill Yoav. He tells him kill him. Rashi says a fantastic thing. He says that you should kill him and you should get a kapara. David was worried about his nephew. You think about David's like vengeance. You think of vengeance? No, he wasn't vengeance at all. He wanted to kill him. You look at Rashi, he wanted to kill him and he should get a kapara. Because in other words, he felt he was a bar maves for what he did. So therefore, this is what's happening. Yoav, he hears that Shlomo sends Benayahu to kill him, and he runs to the Mizbeach, and he holds on to the Mizbeach thinking he might live. Now, don't make a mistake. The Mizbeach we're speaking about over here is not Mizbeach in the Beis HaMikdash. There was no Beis HaMikdash. The Mizbeach we're speaking about here is not in the Mizbeach in Shiloh, as the Gemara says. There was no Shiloh. Shiloh was destroyed by Mei Eli. The Gemara we're speaking about, David brought the Aron down. He put it in behind a special place, and he had a Mizbeach in front of it. It's that Mizbeach that Yoav is grasping onto. Okay, that's according to Rashi. Says the Gemara. It says Vayonis Yoav el Oyel, and Yoav ran to the Oyel. Veichazik b'karnas Mizbeach, and he held on to Mizbeach like in English the word sanctuary, right? For sanctuary to be saved. And therefore what happened over here? First of all, the Mizbeach, you have to be on the Mizbeach and the roof itself. Who toughest b'karnoisa? He was holding on to the horns of the Mizbeach. Yoav made a mistake. She'ena koil el Mizbeach beis Elamim, only in the Beis HaMikdash itself. And finally, who toughest Mizbeach shel Shiloh? No, excuse, that's not Shiloh. Again, Rashi says clearly it can't be Shiloh. And Abaye Amar v'hanami mitata. He also made a mistake. What was the mistake? She'ena koil el kayin va'avoida biyadai v'huzar. It only works for what? For a kayin. It only works for a kayin. So he made two mistakes. One, He didn't go onto the gag. He didn't go onto the gag. And second of all, this Mizbeach had, even if he would have been on the gag, went to work because it's not the Mizbeach, and the Baya throws in and Dritten, he's not a Kayin, he's a Zor. Amresh Lakish, Sholish Toyas, Osid Sarish Shal Roimi Litais. The Sar Shal Roim, Samael. Samael, Sar Shal Roim. He makes 3 mistakes thinking he'll be saved from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's wrath when it comes to the time of the Gula. Dichsiv, it says, the pasuk says, Mi ze ba me edoim, chamutz begodim mi batzra. Okay, what does that mean? Mi ze ba me edoim, chamutz begodim mi batzra. Toye sheina chaletes ele betzer, hu goyla the batzra. He went ahead and he thought that what batzra would be an air mikla to save him, but it's not. Betzer is not batzra. Toya sheina chaletes ele shoygeg v'hu mezid. It's only a shoygeg, not a mezid. And finally, hu toya sheina chaletes ele odam v'hu malach. Madna gemara. Let's see Rashi, guys. Let's see Rashi. Sorishol roimi Samuel sheyivrach lebatzra shebetchila yifra mimenu kishiyagia haketz. When it comes to case, we're going to take retribution from him. Lechorev to be destroyed. Kidichsiv yifkar Hashem al tzva hamaroim b'maroim v'yachkin al malchi adama al adama. Now, first, Hashem's going to take care of the quote unquote bad malachim in Shemayim. Then he's going to go ahead and take care of the malachim in this world.
Like in Yonah Yoma, we just had that by Uzzah. Hashem first killed the Malach Shem Mitzrayim and then took out Mitzrayim.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Chametz begadim midamei shel Samael. Why is the begadim shmutzadik? From what? From the dam of Samael. The afal pi she'ein hamalachim basa bedam, right? Even though what the malachim is not basa bedam, kasav be'akasav ke'ein harigais ha'adam. The shaber es ha'oizen, to mamish, to break the ear, literally. In other words, whatever you can conceive, whatever you can possibly understand. So with the Kadosh Baruch Hu, we always speaks in terms of our life's experiences and what we can do. Okay. Amar Bavo, Ari Mikla le'naslu l'kfura. Ari Mikla is not a cemetery. Not a cemetery, Dichsiv. Umigrashayim, again, remember, all the 48 cities were the 42 cities and the additional 6 cities, they were all cities of Levium. And around the cities of Levium, you had a migrash, 1,000 amas over there. It says, so what does it say? Ari mikla loinas lekfura dichsiv umigrashayim yiyu lebehemtam ulerchusham ulchol chayasam l'chayim nitnu v'loy lekfura. Meisive, we just learned in the Mishnah, Shama, Shamtei dirasai, Shamtei misasai, Shamtei kfurasai. So how do you tell me it's not a cemetery? You see, you do bury the rights from there. It says Gemara Ritzech shiny, Ritzech's different. The Goli Be'Rachmana, the Torah reveals that what that he buries there. So in other words, if you come to an Ari Mikla and you find graves, you can be assured that none of the guys there. Where did they bury the Levium who lived there? You know, I guess they had to go. You know, they didn't. I wonder. You think about the Yerusha, right? They had people. You had your base, but the others where you were buried, right? People had stay achuza. They had place the burial, and the Levium, the Kohanim didn't have a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. I'm just thinking out loud. I wonder where they buried them. You know, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, anyway. Kishem shel ha'ir koletes. We said just like the city is koletes, so too the chum, so too the 2,000 amos around the city would go ahead if the goya, if the Reitzach reached there, it would save him from the goya ladon. Urimini alias yustira. It says v'yoshav ba ad ma'aser kohen gadol. It says ba. What does bar mean? In the city itself, v'loy betchuma, and not in the tchum. So you're telling me that what? That the tchum is what? Is koiled. It says ba, mashma only the city and not the tchum. Only the city and not the tchum. So my body like hasha kan likloit kan lodor, right? One is speaking the Indian to go be koiled, which it is, and ba means to live. He shouldn't live in the tchum. He shouldn't live in the tchum. He should just. It is koiled like a Mishnah. When it says ba, it means to live, that you cannot live in the tchum. Ladar, typically they oisa sada migrash, v'lay migrash sada, v'lay migrash air, v'lay air migrash. And if you're going to live there, it's like a city. If you're going to live in the migrash, it's like a city. So why do I need ba to tell me that? So you needed to teach me what living underneath. That's how you would make tunnels underneath the what the karka. So in this case, all right. So Lodar bar, in other words, you would say, what's pshat over here? You would say that if you migrash air, you wouldn't know. Migrash air, you would just know above the ground. But teaches me that what even below the ground, right? But teaches me even below the ground. I think that's pshat.
Even Arabs style.
What?
Arabs.
Arabs.
Arab style.
Yeah, tunnels, right? Oh gosh, I didn't think about that. I think the chilas. I said, who would live under the ground? You're right. Right, seich sheyatsa chutz l'tchum, or right, seich that goes out chutz l'tchum. So machloikis. Leit Rabbi Yossi HaGalili, it's a mitzvah to kill him. Leit Rabbi Akiva, it's a rishus, but it's not a mitzvah. Okay, it's not a mitzvah. Tan Rabbana. It says v'rotzach goyel hadam es haretzeach. So mitzvah biad goyel adam. It's mashma. It's a mitzvah biad goyel adam. Ein lo goyel adam. There's no goyel adam. Rishus biad kol adam. Divrei Rabbi Yossi HaGalili. Okay, the brisa is a more elaborate, but that's the shita. Akiva oimer rishus biad goyel adam. The chol adam chayav malav. My time with Rabbi Yossi HaGalili. Mi kasiv im rotzach. It doesn't say what im rotzach. In lashon if mashmitz rishus. Ella says rotzach. It's lashon tzivoy. Rotzach, kill him. Rabbi Akiva says no. Mi kasiv yirtzach. Does it say yirtzach? It says rotzach lashon of rishus. So then where's the rishus to kill him or not? Let's say this. I was just thinking out loud. We spoke out that. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Amazucha Bartuvia Amarav. Right, seich sheyatsa chutz l'tchum u'matza goyel adam v'haragay, and he kills him. Neragalav. You hear this? Right, seich leaves the city chutz l'tchum. The goyel adam kills him. Neragalav, you're going to kill the goyel adam. Kiman, who's this like? Like Rabbi Yossi HaGalili, like Rabbi Akiva. I mean, it's better. It's not like the Torah either. It's not like the Torah either. The Torah says you can kill him, right? Ain't like dumb. He doesn't have any blood. Why are you only asking the kasha of Rabbi Yossi HaGalili and Rabbi Akiva? L'chayra, it's even. How is he going to? How is Mazucha Bar Tuvia going to pshat mat in the Torah? Who the Amakiyatana? No, he has right. He has again. Tuvia Bar Mazucha was saying the name of Rav. Rav has a Tana, the Tanya. Rabbi Eliezer Oimer. It says Vayomas HaRetzeach ad Amdoi Lefneo Eido LaMishpat. The Retzeach won't kill until what? This is a court case. Ma Tam of Loimar. Lefi Shenema V'Rotzach Goyel Dam Es Retzeach Yochel Miyad. I might think after what the aid goes ahead, as soon as he leaves the air miklat, that he can kill him. Tam of Loimar ad Amdoi Lefneo Eido LaMishpat. He has to go ahead and warn him. That's the way the Ritva learns. In other words, what are you going to do? He was a chutzah and go, oh, I can kill you now, you take him to court? No. He has to warn him. That's what it means. Or else it's shrelef to say he has to take him to court. Only if he gives him asra, then he's able to go ahead and kill him. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Akiva, okay, now. So therefore, it's not pshat that it's not pshat you can't kill him. Zecher, of course you could kill him. The Torah says you can kill him. The question is whether you have to give him asra or not. So that's what Rav Tuvia, that's what Rab's saying. If you kill him without asra, you're going to get killed. Now, obviously, Rabbi Yossi HaGalili and Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Yossi HaGalili said it was a mitzvah, and Rabbi Akiva said it was a rishus. Did not hold you need to go ahead and give him asra. They argued. This is the case of Rav Tanu Upalik, right? Simcha. This is a case of Rav Tanu Upalik. He's arguing on Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi HaGalili.
But he has a Tana. He has Rabbi Eliezer.
Oh yeah, like this Tana. You're right. I'm sorry. Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Akiva, hay ad amdul fnei eda lamishpat my darshu bei. What do they do with Rabbi Eliezer's pasuk? Omi boile lechidetanya. Rabbi Akiva oimer b'inayin l'sanhedrin shiro echad sheharagas hanefesh shein mamit ma'asai How do you know that? Why bother go through the whole, save the taxpayers a few money? Just go ahead and kill him. All right. You have to bring him to another bezdin. So he goes in and stands in front of another bezdin. The double lashon. How do you know if he goes out b'shoigeg, he leaves? How can he gets killed? In other words, it says what? Double lashon. Either way, whether he comes out b'mezid or even b'shoigeg. He gets killed. B'shoigeg goyla. B'shoigeg he's restored back to galus. So if he goes outside and he doesn't realize it, he doesn't get killed, according to this. How you said he does. So Lakasha, Amina Dibber Klashem Bnei Adam. Pirish. Yatsu Yetz is not a limud. The Torah speaks Klashem Bnei Adam. So therefore, there's no limit for Shoygeg. If you're just speaking there, all you know is Mezid. The Mela, you're going to go ahead and bring him back. And the one who says you do kill him, the Shoygeg, Commander Amashal, therefore, you have an extra Yatsa to go ahead and learn B'Shoigeg, that he would die. Amar Abaya, Mistabik man Amar Dibatosh Lamei Adam, Shlei Soifoi, Choma Mitchilasai. His end, raising out of the city, B'Shoigeg, in the end should not be worse than the beginning. Just like the beginning, B'Shoigeg, he goes to Golos, who I didn't mind if he drays in the Shoigeg in the end, he goes to Golos. Matchilasai, B'Mezid Nerag, B'Shoigeg Goyla, Av Soifoi, B'Mezid Nerag, B'Shava, B'Mezid Nerag, B'Shoigeg Goyla. Tani Chadu, the one Bryce says, Av Shahoreg Binoi Nasaloi Goyl Adam. Here it is. You have two brothers. A father kills one of the brothers, one of his sons. He has two sons. He kills one of them. Right. The other son becomes the Goyl Adam to kill the father. Right. You hear this? You hear this? Scary. Right. Tani Chadu. Av Shahoreg Binoi Nasaloi Goyl Adam. Av Shahorag Kama Binoi Nasaloi Goyl Adam. It's very interesting. The Chari, you have to say he killed, you have to check that he killed a brother there. Why is it Binoi becoming a Goyl Adam? V'tanya Idach ain't Binoi Nasaloi Goyl Adam. Leima Ha Rabbi Yosei Glili v'Hari Akiva. Let's say Rabbi Yosei Glili is the one who says he becomes the Goyl Adam. And the one who says he doesn't become the Goyl Adam is the Rishus, is Rabbi Akiva. For Tizbra, Bein Le'aman Mitzvah, Bein Le'aman Rishus, Mi Shari, is it permitted? For Omar Rabba Bar Huna, B'chein Tanad Rabbi Shmuel, L'chol ein abed nasa shliach la'aviv l'hakoisoi, l'kil l'asoi, what's mi mesis? She'omer Torah, loy sachma, v'eschas alav. The only time a son could go ahead and kill a father, right, is what? Ve'yacha shek nafshecha, in the Pasha of Mesis, right, in Re'eh, right? But anything else not. So no matter what, you cannot go ahead and have this son be what? Be a Goyl Adam. So and for the Gemara, Eloi Kasha, Habe Benoi, Habe Ben Benoi. The Brisa that says that he cannot become a Goyl Adam is speaking about his son. The Brisa says he could become a Goyl Adam is speaking about the son's son. He's speaking about what? His grandson. He's speaking about his grandson. So a grandson could become a Goyl Adam. Says Rashi, Eloloi Kasha, Habibnoi, Habib Ben Benoi. Hadetanya in Benoi Nasa Goyl Adam, Bibnoi shall Ritzeach Kamar. The Benoi of the Ritzeach. Hadetanya Benoi Nasa Loi Goyl Adam, Bibnoi shall Horug Kamar. It's the son of what? Of the one he killed. The one he killed, that's his grandson. Shehu ben Benoi shel Ritzeach, which is the grandson of the Ritzeach. Ve'ina muzar al k'faydoi. So you have Rabbi Kiva Eger Zeichens over here. It's a big tray, guys. If there's a din of kivud over ain by what? By a grandson or not. The Rabbanon from Rashi clearly it says over here it's not. There's no din. When you can point him as a Goyl Adam, obviously there's no din with the rice of kivud over ain. Okay, says there's I don't have any sfarm here, but there's a lot of stuff on this. Put that. Yeah. Okay, says the Gemara, the Mishnah. Okay, Halkop, it's not such an easy.
There's a din. I didn't say that. No, there's a din through the father. I mean, the ikar kibbut of the aim is because the mechaber the grandfather through your father. But now the
Father's
father is
dead.
not here anymore, so
Father's
that's why
dead.
Rashi holds that there's no, yeah.
So Einachanami Rashi would hold if the father was alive, there would be a din?
Because of the father. I mean, you mechabe the grandfather because that's a kibbud av.
Yeah, but another vis-a-vis the grandfather himself, it's not. But the kibbud that he would give the grandfather is kibbud for his father.
Right, but now that the father's not alive, so you don't have the mitzvah's kibbud.
Nice, nice. Okay, next piece you have to hulk up. It's not such an easy piece. Says the Mishnah. Elon shu oimei b'toichat chum. You have an elon that is within the tchum. V'noif noite chutzet chum. So therefore, the ikar of the elon is in the safety zone. The ikar of the elon is in the safety zone. It's the part that is the branch that's not in the safety zone. That's outside the safety zone. Good.
I said of a kibbud eger from Levias Chaim. That's that chat. Shame up.
Thank you. I made chutz l'tchum, the noif by noite but chutz l'tchum. Hakol holachacha noif. So guys, watch this. If you would go ahead. You have l'chayra. You have an ikar outside the tchum, meaning you have a trunk of a tree outside the tchum. L'chayra, the goyal adam could kill him. He's outside the tchum. If, however, the branch is going into the tchum, hakol holachacha noif, and therefore, if he's over here, the right seach, he'll be protected. Because we'll view this ikar, this trunk, as if it's in the tchum because the knife is there. Conversely, and this doesn't work out, if he's inside the tchum and the knife is outside the tchum, then you would say the goyal adam should be able to go inside and kill him. But we know he can't. That's going to be the problem. In other words, if kol halachacha anoif, according to this, you could kill him, right? Kol halachacha anoif. Okay. So right now, wherever depending, but if the knife is in the tchum, then he's safe outside the tchum. If the knife is outside the tchum, then he's not safe inside the tchum. That's what the Mishnah says. Urim minim. I'll ask you a steer from Maisa Sheni. Now, Maisa Sheni, right? Maisa Sheni, but you could eat in Yerushalayim, but you have to be paid it before you get to Yerushalayim. You have to be paid it before, and you could eat it in Yerushalayim. So, Ilan shu oimeid v'noidel lechutz. You have a tree that's in Yerushalayim, and it's noidel lechutz. Or oimeid bechutz, or it's outside v'noidel lefnim. So you have the branch going outside Yerushalayim or the branch going inside Yerushalayim. Inside Yerushalayim, whatever the part of the tree is connected the chayma is considered kilifnim. In other words, there's nothing to do whatsoever with the branch, right? It's nothing to do whatsoever with the branch. So you see, your Mishnah over here, the Indian Hari B'Shoigeg says it's conditional upon the branch. By Maisa Sheni, we're saying no. Maisa Sheni, if you're in, you're in. You're not, you're not. So how do you go in on it and reconcile? Says the Gemara, Maisa Ari Mikla. Yes, Mysterious from Maisa Ari Mikla. Maisa b'choy Metalia Rachman. Maisa depends the choy inside Yerushalayim or not. It depends on the wall. It doesn't depend on the tree. Ari Mikla b'dir Talia Rachman. It depends where you're living. A person lives make a tree house, right? He's living in the branches. He's not living one in the ikar, he's living in the branches. So Mamela, it's not one, it's a teretz. Okay, we're going to see that we're going to have a teretz that supersedes this teretz, okay? So right now, we have a Mishnah, our Mishnah, you go after the nof. We have a Mishnah, Maisa Sheni, that says you don't go after the nof. And we answered that saying, there's two different distinctions. One's chayma and one is what is where you live. Now we're going to have a stira Maisa Sheni itself. So we're going to have three things to deal with: our Mishnah and two Mishnayos in Maisa Sheni. What's the second Mishnah Maisa Sheni? Rami Maisa. The Tanya B'Yushalayim Halachacha Noif. B'Yushalayim you go after the knife. In Maisa you go after wherever the knife is. In other words, if the knife is out, if the knife is outside. If the knife is outside, then you could be paid it. If the knife is inside, then you could eat by the ikar. But Ari Miklat, halachacha knife. By Ari Miklat, you also go after the knife. That's important. So now we have a stira in Ma'aser Sheni. One saying you don't go after you just care about the chayma, the wall. Another one you go after the knife. In other words, this Mishnah Ma'aser Sheni would go ahead and parallel our Mishnah, right? In both cases, you're going after the knife. So we have our Mishnah being supported by the second Mishnah Ma'aser Sheni, which is a stira to the first Mishnah Ma'aser Sheni. Amrav Kahana Loikasha. It's not a problem. Rabbi Yehuda, the Mishnah in Ma'aser Sheni that says you go after the nof is Rabbi Yehuda. And let me just interject. Therefore, our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. And Memela, it's not a kasha from the Chayma. So this teretz will supersede the difference between Chayma and Dira. We can do away with that teretz. That's the way Rashi learns. Again, once you learn that the second Mishnah of Ma'aser Sheni and our Mishnah are synonymous, Memela, if you're going to tell me the Mishnah of Ma'aser Sheni is Rabbi Yehuda, that goes after the nof, our Mishnah also goes after the nof. Good? But again, be aware now, if this Mishnah is Ma'aser is Rabbi Yehuda, it has to be Le'inyan Ari Miklat as well. Not just noif, but even Ari Miklat, which is going to be a problem. Okay? The Harabanan, and the Mishnah that says you go after the wall is the Rabbanan. The Tanya, let's meet them. Amid Beis, let's meet them. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, B'ma'ora, Le'inyan Ma'aser, Hoylechacha Pischa, whichever opening, the way it goes, if it's open in the city or away from the city, it's going to be considered wherever the location of the Pesach is, the opening of the cave. The Elon, this is what we need. Good, very good. Okay, so now let's firize. So we have so beautiful teretz. Right now, everything is great, right? Our Mishnah, we had a stira to the Mishnah. Our Mishnah by Ari Miklat, go after the nof. You go after Chayma, you go after the nof. Our Mishnah, this Mishnah, the second Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. Our Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. Everything's great, and the Mishnah that says you go after the Chayim is the Rabbanan. Okay. By Ari Miklat and by Ma'aser Sheni, it's not exactly a parallel. If we go after the Noif of Ma'aser Sheni, let's go two ways. You can have a Chumrah in both ways, a Kula and a Chumrah. You have, if the Nof is outside the city, you could eat it, but you can't be paid it. If the Nof is inside the city, then you could what? You could eat it, but you can't be paid. So you have two what? You have a Kula and a Chumrah. Let's go to what? To Irni Nachas. And this kasha is going to be malava us to the end to the next Mishnah. So let's say I'm outside the city, and this thing is going inside the city. It goes inside what? The Ari Miklat, the Tchum. Goes inside the Tchum. Comes along the Gal Adam. He says, I'm going to kill you. And he says, no, you can't kill me. Why? I'm inside the Tchum, because the knife is there. That's a Chumrah. That's a Chumrah, right? It's a Chumrah. You can't kill him. Let's go the other way. The ikar of the tree is inside the Tchum. This is going outside the Tchum. So what are you going to say? That he can come inside the Tchum and kill him because this is going outside the Tchum? It's not true. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't kill him. You can't kill him. So therefore, it's not a good sushta. It's not good because it's not synonymous one to the other. Let's see it inside. Says the Gemara. Aimad the Shamit lay Rabbi Yehuda gabi Maisa l'chumra igroi bechutz v'noiv v'fnim kehechid v'noiv lay matzi parik meikari nami lay matzi parik. You won't be able to go ahead and redeem. Igroi v'fnim, if the main part's inside, v'noiv v'chutz kehechid v'noiv lay matzi achol b'lay pedia kehechid nami lay matzi achol b'lay pedia. So you have a chumra both ways. Elagabi ari miklat. Bishlei me'ikroi b'chutz v'noif v'bifnim. Very good, you'll have a chumrah, right? Ki hechid b'noif alei matzi kato lei. Just like you can't kill him by the knife, of course, it's inside the tchum. The ikroi nami lei matzi kato lei. By the ikra, you won't be able to also kill him. Ela ikroi b'fnim v'noif v'b'chutz. Ki hechid b'noif matzi kato lei. The ikroi nami matzi kato lei. Hagavai, he's inside. No, I think you can shafa halacha, but you can't shafa mitzias. I can shafa halacha that, you know what? If I'm inside, I can eat it over here, but I can't be paida. That's the halacha, right? But what are we saying over here? I'm physically going to go ahead and say we'll view the guy as if he's outside the tchum. How can you do that? In other words, he's inside the tchum. The halacha of the knife being outside can't take him, transport him outside. He's inside. I can say halachically something, but to go ahead and say physically to put this guy outside, that I can't do. He's inside. He's physically inside. Look at the map. Look at the measurements. He's inside the city. I think that's the Hezbollah of the Gemara. The knife can shafa halacha. It can't shafa physical mitzias. So therefore, we got a problem, right? We have a problem. Guys, what's the problem? Look back. Look back at Amid Aleph. The Tanya. B'Yushalayim holach acha noif, b'Ori miklad hocha acha noif. That second part, b'Ori miklad hocha acha noif, is a problem. You want to say it's according to Rabbi Yehuda, Bishleim Rabbi Yehuda, by noif, by maisa, we go after it. Both ways, you have a kula v'chumra. Masha'enkin over here, you don't have it. That's the problem. Guys, you hear the problem. That's the problem. That clause that says that outside the tchum, when you're inside the tchum, if the knife is outside the tchum, you can kill the guy. It's a problem because you know it's not true. So therefore, it's a problem saying Rabbi Yehuda is the Tana of that Mishnah in Maisa Sheni, that second Mishnah Maisa Sheni, because of the clause of Ari Miklat. The Maisa clause is fine. The Ari Miklat clause is problematic. So we have two truths. Amar Rava, we have Rabbi here. Amar Rava, the Ikroi, the Kuli Alma, we have he's Goyis Rabba. The Ikroi, the Kuli Alma le Pligi, the Lematzi Katal. Wherever he is, guys, in the Ikka, whether the Ikka is outside and the knife is inside, he can't kill him because of the halacha, we go after the knife. And even inside, if the knife is outside, he can't kill him because why? You can't kill a person by the trunk. It doesn't work. Right? Let's say he's outside the knife. He's outside the knife. You can throw rocks or shoot an arrow. You can kill him. If his knife is outside, you can kill him. Not a problem. Keep pligi. Here's the machlokes. In other words, can we use this ikr as a means of getting into the knife? Masava Rabbi Yehuda holds ikroi darga l'noifai. Umasava loy havi ikroi darga l'noifai. Okay, for Rashi has a long explanation. Let's see Rashi, guys. Let's see the Rashi. Amar Rava, the ikroi kuliyam le pligi. Lo oilam kiddukom shaninan. The teretz we gave, meaning ha Rabbi Yehuda ha Rabbanan, ha Rabbi Yehuda ha Rabbanan, meaning the Rabbanan that said that you go after the chayma, that's the Rabbanan. In Yerushalayim, the second Mishnah Sheni that said you go after the knife and the Ari Miklat is according to Rabbi Yehuda. I had a kasha, guys, you had a kasha, right? But Rabbanan, the Rabbanan leishadin le knife basa ikroi, v'le ikroi basa knife, le b'maisa v'le b'Ari Miklat. Kidduktani kamaisa, as we learned in the first Mishnah. The keneged ha'chayma l'fnim k'lifnim. Rabbi Yehuda polik v'ama shadi ikroi basa knifei with the ka'amit dilma l'chumra ka'amar and nanami l'chumra minullah. L'inyan Maisa Kidamar. On the Maisa you won't be able to pay the way you have to eat. Well, Inyan Miklat Heichid the Ikroi befutz the knife bifnim, where the Ikr is outside and the knife is inside. The Chumrahu, it's a Chumrah because he's not able to kill him. Shadi Ikroi basa knifei. If might say the Ikroi like Matzi Katalei, he's not able to kill him because we're going to go after the knife. The Heichid the Ikroi bifnim the knife befutz. What about when the Ikr is inside and the knife is outside? This was the problem, right? Because you can't kill him here. Even though the knife is outside, you can't kill him. The Kama Bar Rabbi Yehuda, Holachachra knife. What does it mean? This is the key. We don't say that just like you can kill him by the knife, you can kill him inside the tchum by the ikka. Right? To be ikarish and ifnim kuliyamale pliki. Everyone agrees the ikka, you can't kill him. The heichi de koret seich ben neifoi shebechutz. V'yochel gal adam lamed chutz etchum u'lehargoi b'chitz mitzrayres kuliyamale pliki the matzikato. They'll kuliyam knife basa ikra lo shadinan. You're not going to go ahead and put the knife basa the ikra. So if he's in the knife outside, you can kill him. Keep pligi, and this is what we need. To come Rabbi Yehuda halachach knife lemahave ikroi dargal in whether the ikra can be a stepping stone to the knife, right? Sheyikonis goyel adam b'toichat chum Can he go inside the tchum, go into the ikr, and use that as a stepping stone, a platform to go ahead and kill him? Right. The hach kula islay Rabbi Yehuda. This kula is the Rabbi Yehuda. The lav ikr shadi basan knife. You're not going ahead and throwing it after the knife. Whatever the knife is there, the ikr is here. The question is, when Yehuda said the words in the Mishnah, ba'ori miklat holachachar knife, meaning you're able to go in the ikr to get to the knife. So it's not a chumrah. It's ikr. Well, it's a kula. Can I go ahead? So in other words, I'm not donning fellas. And what was the problem? You made a comparison between the Maisa or Miklat and the Retzech or Miklat. You made a comparison, the knife of Maisa to the knife of Ori Miklat, and you found it not synonymous. Why? Because if the knife is outside and the is inside, you can't kill him. We're not discussing that at all. You know what we're saying? We're saying that the chiddush of Ori Miklat bus and knife, that he was able to get on the ikr, the Reitzech, and go inside the city, go on the ikr, and get to what the Reitzech. That's what we're saying, and therefore it does not come to, you're not zustelling it whatsoever to what one wrong, and therefore it's not a problem. That's the first teretz. Okay, that's the first teretz. The second teretz. What's the second teretz? Rav Ashi Amar, my achar knife. What does achar knife mean? Af achar knife. It means even after the knife. Right? Even after the knife. Rashi. Rav Ashi Amar, my achar knife. The kama maslisan the hacha. The chen brisa the ori miklot. Af achar knife. Our Mishnah and the Brisa second Mishnah in Ma'aser Sheni, Rabbi Yehuda. It's all Rabbi Yehuda, the same teretz. We're consistent. The kul l'chumra, Olinian Ma'aser Kiddushanina, like we answered. Olinian Miklat Ach Afra Noif Kana. The Hechi be'ikra b'chutz the Noifay b'fnim Shadi ikra b'as Noifay l'chumra that he won't be able to kill him. The light came with Kiddukoi Koi. Don't see that he can kill him. Al hecha the ikra b'fnim the Noifay b'chutz where the trunk is inside and the knife is outside. Shadi Noifay b'asa ikra. Right. We're going to go ahead and throw where the ikra b'fnim, the knife b'chutz, shali knife b'asa ikra. Well, he must have cut off the knife, right? Because the knife is inside. Shadi, you don't say that. It's the chachamei madalian miklat zin in the shadi ikra b'asa knife l'chama. Sometimes we do it. In other words, what's the teretz? What's the teretz over here? It doesn't mean that, it means we even go after it. Sometimes we go ahead, sometimes, most of the time you go after the knife, and sometimes we won't. In other words, the Mishnah is teaching us a chumrah. But if you go after the knife when the trunk is inside, then you have a chumrah that it can't kill you. However, when the trunk is inside, right? I'm not exactly. I'm not being masbid as well. I'm not being masbid as well. I think this is what it means. It means that, of course, you'll go after the ikal chumrah, but you'll even go after the nof. So perish. Let's say the ik is inside. Of course, the goy can't kill him. The nof is outside. No, you go after the ikka. But the knife, when the ikr is outside and the knife is inside, even then he won't be able to kill him. So you're being machmir both ways. I think that's the hezbollah, right? That's the hezbollah. Good. That's next Mishnah. Harag boisa here.
You can't even kill him on the knife.
What? Yeah, you can still kill him on the knife. According to this pshat, you can still kill him on the knife. Can right? Kuli amli pligi. Or when you have charata from that teretz.
You can't kill him on the right. After knife, you can't kill him on the. You anywhere, whichever part of the tree is on, you can't kill him. According to Rabbi.
Yeah, correct. 1 second. Let's say he's in the knife and the knife is outside. So this teretz, according to this teretz, the difference in this teretz and the first teretz is that the first teretz you would be able to shoot him on the knife, and this one you won't be able to. First teretz said kuliyam that you could go ahead.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's the chiluk, and the second teretz not. Second teretz you won't be able to kill him side to side. because you go after the ikka. Okay, very good. Says the Mishnah. Harag ba'isay here. Let's say he killed in the city. He doubled down and he killed again. What does he do? He goes from one neighbor to another one. Ben Levi goes ahead and kills. He goes what to another Ari Mikla. Tanraman. Besamti lecha mokoim, asher yonashama. Besamti lecha b'chayecha. But besamti lecha meaning b'chayecha. But Moshe was still alive. He went ahead and set away these cities. Mokoim and Mekoim Cha. From who? I'll set aside cities from Moshe's Makom. Moshe was a Levi. Asher yonashama milad shal Yisrael megalin b'midbar. Ulehechem maglin. Where they go? The maglin and midbar. Now we always wonder if the Ari Mikla and in the midbar, where did they go? Right? Maglin says because it said the Sam from Makam and Chaim Chav from Moshe's Makam. The Kan Amru Ben Levi Shaharag. Ben Levi goes ahead and kills. Goyim Plach. He goes from city to city. And Golul Polchoy. And if he's going in his city to another neighborhood, Polchoy Kolasai Koltais. And then his what? It will be Koilet. It will work.
When you want it.
What's the pasuk? Kibir miklata yoshev kotasa kfar. Here, already, he's going to a city that already had been chalid before.